madness, and it's just about to begin. You're all in right from the minute that we come on live with Graham Cullis. We never do any warm-up. The man doesn't need warming up.
No, he doesn't.
Who's the dog? Introduce the people, Graham.
Oh, this is Coco.
Hello, Coco. I've got a Coco here as well, but my Coco's a cat.
So we have Natalie Elias. That's how you say her surname, isn't it?
I'll accept that. Yeah.
Natalie Elias and Marie Ralph, who's a special guest today, who you weren't expecting.
I wasn't expecting, but I'm always grateful for lots of extra people on the sofa. I feel like someone on like this morning. So welcome everyone on the sofa.
Yes.
So this is a kind of like catch up because during oh dear, I've got a kind of flying thing now. During lockdown, we had our first chat, and you had Elaine Tobin from Ireland on with you. Do you remember? And we were talking about trolling and how we have to have empathy for people who feel that that's a justified way to communicate. Yeah. And it was a great video. And then since then, honestly, you've been trekking the world.
Oh yeah, I've been on a bit of a journey. Yeah, for sure. I'm trying to remember where I went from there. So had I already started Youth Art Connect before I met you?
I think no, because I met you. So I met you right at the beginning of the journey.
That's it. Yeah, I just left my job.
I think you were in the process of leaving your job.
Right. Yeah, and then you tipped me over the edge. You're a bad influence.
I'm really bad.
Yeah, I quit my job and then
no apologies.
No, I'm so grateful. Thank you very much. And I then moved myself back to Cornwall because I wanted to get back there, and it's my home away from home, and it's my spirit place. And I wanted to start a project. So obviously art helped me so much with my mental health that I wanted to start a project which could give back to others. So Youth Art Connect was born. We got a cup of tea.
Really?
Here it comes, like across the screen. Whey! Look at that. We've got a little butler.
Excuse me. Hello. Through here.
So where was I? I decided that I met a lovely girl called Kate Evans who owns a studio there, and we had a discussion in my garage studio about what we could do. We did it on a YouTube vlog, and came up with the idea that we would like to give back to young people around Cornwall and give them free art sessions as like a mental health initiative born out of the pandemic. And then Marie Ralph came into my life, and she came to the first session. It was incredible. She came along with a bang, brought Mao along, set the fire alarms off, and
literally
fire alarms off.
Yeah, it was amazing. We couldn't have had a better introduction.
No,
really.
we certainly got noticed.
Yeah. And
is it just because you've got I mean, we might as well go with the theme here as soon as we start off with Holly. Is it just because you've got a thing about firemen, or you're just tension seeking, or is this something you regularly
you can explain
do?
The story if you want.
Yeah, well, basically, my son's got Tourette syndrome, quite severe Tourette syndrome, as well as being autistic. And one of these tics is every time he saw a fire alarm, he would have to hit it at the time.
Doesn't make him a bad man.
Oh my gosh! Yeah. If he saw any sort of button or alarm, so it was very common that you would be going up an escalator and he'd see the emergency stop button, and everyone would suddenly go.
Whoa!
Yeah, but yeah, unfortunately, he just couldn't help it. He saw it, hit it, and went, I've hit the fire alarm, and that was it. The whole building came out, the art studio, the Tesco Express, various businesses, Oxfam.
It was wonderful.
Graham, brilliant marketing.
Exactly. Yeah.
Gold.
Yeah.
How much did you pay her?
Well, so Marie actually came along as like
a guest,
as a guest to come and see what it's all about with her son and a couple other young people that were with you as well. I can't remember.
We had Glenn and Gray who were autistic. Yeah, so I brought a few. Just a small group of autistic people along.
That's right. There we go. And Marie herself is autistic, something I didn't realise at the time. And when we started working together, because she actually was like, Graham, I remember you said to me, like, it's something I've been wanting to try and set up myself. Yeah. And one reason or another, it hasn't happened yet. But I I think that was my purpose. I came along to help her have this. And I said to her, "This is yours now. Go for it. I'm going to be buggering off to Bali soon." So
it was a bit of a shock, wasn't it? It was like I just sort of went, this is exactly what I've been trying to do for so many years. I did my degree in art, specialising in animation and filmmaking, but my passion's always been in standard art. And I saw the benefits it had on both of my children. I've got various things going on, and I saw the massive impact it had on their self-esteem, on their focus, on, you know, their ability to believe in themselves. And we just got chatting, didn't we? And then Graham just said, right, it's yours. And me and Walter went, okay.
What?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. It just felt like fate. It felt like I'd met the right person at the right time. You know, with his energy and what he brings to the table was absolutely incredible. You know, I'm you know, a bit quieter.
Unless there's politics involved.
Is that
possible? Graham's quite shy and retiring. What do you mean?
He is, yeah.
Such a quiet lad.
Yeah. I have my own opinions on diversity and Graham.
Yeah, pretty much we've together diagnosed me with ADHD. I didn't know you could actually self-diagnose. That's another thing that I wasn't aware of. I've become aware of so much to do with the neurodiversity spectrum that I like. For instance, Marie telling me one day after we had a little meeting together, she said, "Oh yeah, because of my autism." And I'm like, "Excuse me," and like a lot of people don't think that, you know, like autism is such a broad subject, or how would you explain it? So
yeah, it's just I think you said it lovely in the thing that you were saying recently, that, you know, the way we like to think of it is that, as you said in your video, we live in a neurodiverse world. Everyone is neurodiverse. It's just, for us, it's about finding neurotribes. We refer to neurotribes, and it's about finding your people. And what we find is very much that, you know, autistics are drawn to autistics, and ADHDers tend to get drawn to ADHDers, and predominant neurotypes tend to get drawn to predominant neurotypes. And there are some crossovers, but generally you see those groups naturally form together because of their interests and the way they are and the way they look at the world. So yeah, it's
they recognize each other, don't they?
Yeah.
It's like anything, you recognize someone who's like you.
Yeah, that's what it is. And I think it is, it's that sense of identity.
We want to feel accepted.
Yeah
Absolutely. You want to feel like, oh, they're like me, and so that's all right. And I think we start that as children, don't we, wanting to like find our safe, happy place of group of people. And I love that tribes thing. I mean, Graham is a one-man tribe touring the globe.
I make tribes.
You do, exactly.
Yeah,
you're a tribe builder.
Exactly. Yes, that's I've just really owned that this year, actually. Like after my last trip to Bali, actually, where I helped Putu set up his river guiding business, which, just in case your listeners don't realise don't know about that, I went to Indonesia to work on projects, but just actually to go there to rest a little bit and be an artist in Indonesia. And then obviously I can't help myself. Saw that my friend Putu needed a hand because he lost his job in the pandemic, and then I helped him make him realize that he's got a resource in his back garden jungle, this beautiful river. And I set up a business for him. They made a YouTube vlog, got a load of kids from the city to all pay him money for him to guide us, and then his wife cooked us an all-you-can-eat lunch. And yeah, that was really special. And like, then now he has got people going to his river every day, and a hotel comes along and gives him guests. And I'm going to go back soon to give him another hand to boost it. But that's the moment I was like, do you know what? This is what I do. I came back from Bali, and then I was a little bit flat after that, and then the New York Dippers Club happened. But we'll go into that in a second.
Yeah, let's just go back a step, because we haven't finished the convection around Youth Art Connect. Because the lovely Natalie, sitting on in her gorgeous colourful jumper, arrived again, bizarrely courtesy of me, which I didn't really realise. I sent Natalie to you, and I obviously wasn't aware of how this was going to work out. Like you're a tribe builder, I'm a connector. I'm like, oh, that person needs to know that person, hand them down the road. And you never really, sometimes you never hear how that comes out. But obviously with Natalie, I heard that she'd landed really firmly with you guys. So how are you finding it, Natalie?
Yeah, I mean, I just felt really happy to have a contact. I didn't know anyone when I moved down here. I moved down with my partner September before last. And what you'd been saying about what Graham was doing sounded really cool. So I was like, definitely gonna give that a go, but also just so nice to have an excuse to get to know people and start networking and making friends. And I didn't know how it would go, and I went along for my first session. I thought, this is where I need to be. I'd kind of left behind some art groups that I was doing in London where I was living before, and I felt really sad I was leaving them behind. And I was definitely a big hole there that I felt, this definitely meets that need for sure.
And she's really amazing with the kids as well. Like she brings the calming influence. You see her at the end of the table, sort of just like really bringing them in, and it's like, and then obviously you got the well, exactly,
you can see that even through the screen. You can feel your very calm energy through the screen, which is an alter ego to Mr. Graham, who has like extremely vibrant energy. Wild energy. But we need everyone, don't we? We need everyone in that set to bring their skills and their energy, and that's what makes magic.
Exactly.
Yeah, totally agree.
So I couldn't do any of the things that you do, Graham.
No,
I don't have Marie's fountain of knowledge. It's nice we've all got our things that we
all bring to the table. And I think this is it. I mean, that's absolutely spectacular with some of our young people who really struggle to communicate, or might be have quite complex needs, and struggle around lots of children, and she's just got such a calming knack. It's just it's just awesome to see. And the one thing we said,
don't worry.
The one thing we said when we set up Youth Art Connect as an actual community enterprise was that we didn't want anyone to feel excluded. I've grown up with my children being in a world where everything is labelled and you have to fit into boxes in order to access things. So if you're autistic, you go to this group. If you're ADHD, you go to this group. If you've got cerebral palsy or Down syndrome, you go here. And I said, why are we doing this? Why are we just not putting children together? Why are we not having someone with Tourette's set next to somebody with cerebral palsy, or somebody with high anxiety next to somebody who has nothing going on? There should be, every child should be sat next to everyone. That way they understand about each other's conditions more. They understand a little bit more about disability, and they become more accepting. And people were like, we had a few naysayers that you'll never do it. You've got children with challenging behavior. How can you put them next to, a child with nothing going on? And we have those children. We have children coming from special schools. We have children coming from areas where there's antisocial behavior orders, and care backgrounds, with trauma. And they all sit around the table together and they all communicate fine. We have some who are non-verbal. And I think this is the whole point of Youth Art Connect, is that it was meant to bring people together as a community, and just through a love of art.
Yeah. And you're right, it's exactly what you said, like it works when you have different types of people, magic happens. And that's exactly what's happening. It works. The kids sit down together and they learn from each other. They see each other's needs and they learn from it, and well, the one thing is they're becoming aware as well, and then they start getting it, and that's what's been really powerful in this journey.
We're very privileged to live in a society now where we have a lot more awareness of neurodiversity and people's needs, and everyone is much more accepting that we're our own people and we can make our own way. But the sadness is, as you say, that some of that makes it compartmentalized. And I know when I was growing up, I grew up in a school where, we didn't have any of this awareness. People used bad words to each other and called each other names, and it wasn't nice. But I actually grew up in a school where we had the whole community went to this school, and I was in classes with people with I didn't know that was a title, but they were neurodiverse or they were disabled. And we need to get we need to get the best of both of these worlds together, don't we? We need to get the best of that bit where we didn't understand and everyone was together, and this bit where we do understand, but we don't judge, and we're just all in it together.
Yeah.
And we all get the best out of it equally.
No,
And
totally.
I love what you're doing. I think it's amazing. And creativity is very therapeutic.
Exactly. Well, that's our tagline. When it used to be therapeutic, introducing the therapeutic benefits of art to young people, but now it's introducing the therapeutic, but I can't say it, the therapeutic benefits of art to everyone. We've just decided. We saw it the last session. It was we're doing 18s to 30s, 11 to 17s, then 18s to 30s, and we're like, do you know what? Let's hell with it. Let's just invite everyone on the adult session, because and it's so
buzzing.
magic.
It was the best adult session we've run.
We had more people than the younger session. It was incredible.
Yeah.
Like we did a
That's
shout out.
amazing.
And then we had people, how old, like sort of in the 60s,
We had
70s?
60s next to people who were like 18, you know, just sitting, making art together, looking at each other's ideas and saying, oh God, that's really cool. How'd you do that? And then you've got like 18, 19-year-olds, you know, leaning over and say, oh, well, this is how I do that. And showing these older people. And I'm getting goosebumps just saying it.
That's like how it used to be, isn't it? Like 100 years ago, when the old would sit with the young and skill share.
And I'm a big believer in that. I home educate both my children because of their needs. And you know, the first thing I did with both of them was sign them up to volunteering. You know, I've always been very, very passionate about giving back to community myself. So I made sure, even though they have additional needs, that, you know, they need to learn how to give back to a community and work in a community. So one started working with DISC, who we're working with now. So it's providing food and meals to people on low incomes. And then my youngest, you know, he's not really into that side of things. But he started singing with the local Alzheimer's group. So it was anybody with dementia and Alzheimer's. So he goes along, and this was pre-COVID, and they're trying to get it set back up now. COVID's sort of gone down the pan. And he would just hold the books out and learn all these old sort of 1950s songs and sing it with them, because we know that music has a really positive impact on people with dementia. And they loved him. You know, he was 8 at the time. And it was like, how amazing is this? We've got, you know, young people coming in and giving them a lease of life. And if he wasn't there, they'd be going, where's that little boy? Where is he this week? And that to me is really important. I'm really into bringing communities together.
Yeah, I love that idea. There's been a lot of discussion, hasn't there, about music, which is something, again, that you're very into, Graham, isn't it? Music, and using music in everything you do. And B, about how beneficial it is for older people who are starting to lose their memory and are suffering with dementia and Alzheimer's, to have interaction with young children who are just enthusiastic and full of life and excited, and they're not judging. No judging.
So we've got so many different kind of family setups now as well. I think there's a real need for people who maybe don't have grandparents around, or not in the same part of the country, or in the same country at all, just to have that intergenerational connection.
And I think that's the one thing I loved about the home ed community. People are very big on that, you know, like whereas in school you're only tending to meet your peer groups. You know, in home education, you'll see a 15-year-old sitting down reading a book to a 3-year-old, or you know, there's a lot of that crossover. You know, if they go on a trip, you'll see the grandparents sometimes taking the children out. So the other children are then going up to them, because some of them don't have grandparents around here. And I love that sense of community. And I just think it's something that's getting lost, and it's really nice to be part of something that is hopefully bringing that back together again.
So you've got plans. What are your plans for going forward? Tell me.
So first, we're going to be we're changing to charity status so we can get more funding, because it seems like CIC's, the funding pots post Brexit, are a little bit empty. So we thought the smartest move would be to move into charity status so we could go for different fundings. And we just got 10 grand from the National Lottery.
Yes.
Yes.
So is that Arts Council or Heritage Lottery?
Well,
That was for the community. That was the national
The community fund.
community fund. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah.
Fabulous. Oh, that's great.
So we're on a roll now, and hopefully we're going for another grant that's based in based in Cornwall CCF. If you're listening, we want it. That's going to be in collaboration as well with a charity disc that we already mentioned a second ago about feeding families of low income. We're actually going to be running an art club for 4 days in the half term with splatter art tents. I'm volunteering myself for the kids to throw and the adults to throw paint at me. And yeah, we're going to have 4
What
days.
dates? Excuse me, I'm just Googling the train times.
Monday the 13th, Tuesday the 14th, 15th and 16th. And yeah, so we're going to put that on, and Monique, who runs Disc, has been amazing. She's bought a load of art materials for us to use, and we're going to also put a hot meal and a lunch on for 2 different sessions. We'll have like a morning and an afternoon session where they get fed as well, which is going to be amazing. And hopefully it looks like we're going to be doing that weekly with them, called Arty Mondays. So
That's
moving
so
forward,
good. And I do think the food thing is really important.
Yes.
Yeah,
It's nurturing.
yeah. And we always like to have snacks at Youth Art Connect.
Yeah,
as well.
we're a good collector of snacks at YAC.
They always get eaten before the adults get there, though.
Yeah. We get left over with the stuff no one else wants.
Yeah. So yeah, moving forward, I guess we just really want to tap into as much funding as possible. I really want these guys to earn a wage. That would be like an ultimate dream for me to see happen.
One day.
And yeah, we'll get there. And just crack on and move it forward little by little.
Marie, baby steps, love, baby steps. And I started Pure Arts Group, which I run now. I started that back in like 2009. And we're a bit like you, really enthusiastic, just needed, wanted to change the world. Yeah. And I think it took about 5 years before I got it into a position where the people who were working on it were actually getting some compensation for what they were doing. And now it's a fully fledged business. Yeah. So, it's just it's a process. They get paid properly now, like fully like grown-ups.
That'd be lovely.
Proper grown-ups. You have to start somewhere. And you're doing such an amazing thing that it's got that energy. So it's the process, and you will get there.
Thank you.
Yes, we will.
Definitely. You definitely
That's really
will.
Inspiring to hear, actually.
Yeah. I mean, people say to me, "Oh, I got turned down for this and that," and you don't understand. I said, we get turned down for stuff all the time. You just have to turn up and put up. But if you can't. If you're not in it, you can't win it, can you?
Yeah.
No, it just means next opportunity.
Exactly.
See, who told you that?
Actually, a podcaster did one on his show, and I listened to a couple of his episodes. And that was
like a fortune cookie or something.
Actually, he learned it from an old guy when he was walking in Ireland, who was walking past him to go for a cold dip. Actually, I can't really think he'd been turned down for something, and the guy was like, "No, just stands for next opportunity." And
exactly.
that stuck with me, that one.
Yeah, I mean, it's absolutely right. You have to reframe these things, but also, you only know how far you've come when you've got a long way and can look back.
Yeah, right.
When you're in the moment, it feels like, whoa, no, what's going on here? So you have to go on the journey.
Yeah.
In order to have the privilege to look back.
Yeah.
And see how far you've come. And you will get there because you've started the journey. And the difference, another one for you, the difference between success and failure is action.
Right, take action. Yeah, that's written on my whiteboard. That's since New York, that's been written on my whiteboard in capital letters.
Take action. Because if you don't take any action, you don't get anywhere, are you?
Exactly.
I think that's why the kind of creative arts are so good as a mental health support, because you do then have these kind of, as like having a testimony of having survived things, you've made how many years ago, and you can look back on these physical things you've made pictures of.
Yes.
And see how you've improved or where you've got
exactly
as well. They might be going through a really tough time.
Yeah.
And if they're coming to us while they're struggling with things, they can make things, and you hope that in a couple of years or even a couple of weeks, they'll look back and they'll go,
Oh, that's
Yeah.
yeah. And we do see that in some of our artwork, don't we? From some of our young people, we see
Definitely.
that progression, because some of them have been with us right from day one. You know, and we get newbies all the time, but you know, we got our regulars who've been there every month, and you know, we've seen the progression not just in their artwork but in their personalities.
it.
Oh,
We've
yeah.
watched their personalities grow.
I've been away from a year and I've watched them grow as well. I turn up and Ollie's like big now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a thing. These young people, they do keep growing. But that's it, isn't it? You are helping them grow into their future selves. That's such an amazing thing to do.
And we're helping the older ones go back into their child state and
Yeah.
play.
Yeah.
Play is amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and I saw that you were engaging with some male groups, Graham.
Yes. So just 2 weeks before I came out, or for the whole of January, I think, about 3 weeks. So before I came out back to Newquay, I come back from New York, which was epic.
We'll talk about that in a minute.
Yeah. Well, I came back after that, just that full-on chapter of my life, 3 intense months, and then I just came back and I was a little bit like, oh, I need to relax now. And then I knew I had Youth Art Connect to go along. I don't know if you guys know, but I was in this like weird moment for a couple of days, like, should I just ask him if I should postpone it and just go and chill for a bit? I was like, no, I'm doing it. But do you know?
I'm so glad you did.
I know.
Take
I know.
action. Take
Yeah,
action.
exactly. But then I discovered this men's mental health group or support group called Mankind, which is based in Eastbourne, just down the road from you. And I've actually been in touch with them for a while, since the Pevensey Plungers, which is another group, sea swimming group that I started up a couple of years ago, just after Youth Art Connect, before I went to Bali for that time. And and I met this guy called Steve, who was an incredible human being. He found us at the Pevensey Plungers like a week after we started it, after my post went viral, and then like loads of people started coming to the beach to swim with me. He came along, he saw it, and he was like, I've got to go to this. And he said, 6 days prior to that, he lost his friend David in the ocean, like sea swimming, like in front of him. He saw him get airlifted off the coast of Bourne, airlifted out of the water, not hit with him anymore. And that was his best friend. And he but bless him, he came along 6 days later and said, I need to do this. I need to come in the water. And we had a moment in the water. And he asked me to turn the camera off, and he told me, I'm welling up now. And he said, I needed this so much. So that was like a moment. And then he obviously told me about this support group called Mankind. And I've been sort of like thinking about sort of men's groups. I've done a couple of podcasts talking to someone else in Bali that started one. I even interviewed Steve when I got back before I went to New York, asked to talk all about it on my podcast. And that was a really good one. But I still hadn't attended. And then there's a chance where I had like the month of January to kind of chill, half relax, but prepare for what was coming for what we're doing now. Steve was like, come along, mate, come along to the group. And I was like, yeah, why not? And I went along, and it's a circle of men, and you just go along and they ask a simple question. How's your week been, mate? And like, wow, like some of the stories that you hear when you have that moment, you can either just say, yeah, it's fine, or no, it's not good, and you can pass on and observe. You don't have to answer. But yeah, I heard some amazing stories, some really touching stories. I got to share some stuff as well, which I didn't think would come out of me. And but one thing that I thought was really powerful about it wasn't even just the therapy like that you get from the group. It was like a networking group. Like a networking group with no ego. Everyone in that room wants you to succeed and help, and you've got like hopes and dreams that you might talk about, and it was just so wonderful. And I didn't realize how powerful that could be. And obviously, like being a community builder now, like I'm learning loads of different things that I can bring to the table in these groups, and from that group to take to my communities. And the networking thing is just absolutely golden. Like I got so much out of it. And then of course, like Steve was like, we should get some of these guys to come swimming with us. And yeah, sure enough, like we put it to them because they all like were joke. It's a load of lads banter in there, and then Steve, they all know Steve goes to the plunge and he sea swims, and then we were like, Graham's here because they've been following my journey as well because Steve sort of sung my praises and they heard the podcast, and they're like, Graham's here, like, why don't we all just go along and do a sea swim? I'm like, I'm keen like that. And I was like, right, who's ready for this tomorrow? And they're like, oh, maybe Wednesday. Okay, Wednesday. And then we just went, and I was like, there's like 4 of us turned up, and we went to David's Beach, which is the beach where Steve lost his friend. It was a beautiful sunset or sunrise or sunset. No, sunrise, yeah, in the morning. It was just like beautiful, and we took a couple of people for their first dip, and it was just magical. And then we asked again, if you want to come, we're going to go this day. Then a load more turn up. So the Mankind Cold Club started, and in my last vlog, actually, if anyone wants to go to my YouTube channel, check out my last vlog. I'll do a little like montage of that, and it was just really beautiful, and like and you know, like I got lots out of that as well, like obviously my karma card project, which I tried to help me sustain myself, like a load of them, I didn't even ask them, that they started coming through. I was like, what? And even one person who'd never met me just knew that I'd attended the group. He paid a whole year in front, and I never even met him. And I was like, what? So he paid for a year's worth of subscriptions straight up because I'd put it annually now as well. And I was like, I don't even know you, mate. And he was like, no, I just love what you do. And
That's,
and I was like,
that's so cool.
Yeah, so I think it's power in community and stuff like this.
And as you say, you've just learned another thing about the fact that yes, creativity is therapeutic, but also talking.
Yeah, exactly.
You knew cold water was therapeutic, you knew creativity was therapeutic, and now you know talking therapy really works too.
And listening.
Yeah, so you've got three quite powerful strings to your bow that you can bring to each one of these projects that you initiate around the world. So, okay, the massive elephant in the room, we better talk about New York, hadn't we? We're all just trying to ignore him. Like, we don't care that you spent Christmas in New York.
It was crazy. I was living with this family, and I was like in a proper family situation, living in their basement. That sounds kind of weird, but like I had this moment where we were going to their in-laws for Christmas Eve, and as we were leaving the house, they said, look, we put our Spotify on and it's going to be Christmas songs the whole month of December. I'm like, yes. But as I was leaving the house, we all had like matching pajamas together, like, and our slippers, would go in and get in their pickup truck. As we were leaving the house, the Home Alone theme tune was on, and I was like, I made it. This is the American dream. But yeah, so all right, okay, skipping back a little bit, New York, I came back from Bali after that whole Putu shenanigans. I was actually going to come back and jam with Youth Art Connect for a bit, but I was going through a bit of a flat period, and like I think I just needed to paint and heal a little bit, and I spent time in Hastings. You actually saw me.
I did.
And you knew, well, I came and helped you with that homeless gig, and you knew that I was backed up. So I just needed to chill, and just like I needed to find a project to heal myself. And with the whole thing with the Pevensey plunges that happened, like I realized there was a formula to that, because that happened by accident. And I was like, you know what, my friend invited me to New York, like she paid for my flight. She's a lawyer for Apple, and she's got a house on the beach and a house in East Village, so like she was like, come, like I don't care, just come over. And I was like, okay, I've got to take this opportunity. And I was like, even before I went, I was thinking, what, I'm going to start a sea swimming group over there. It's on the beach. And I even thought of the social medias, New York Dippers Club. I already had it in my head. I was like, yeah, but I didn't set them up. I just sort of like wanted to go and test the waters first.
Test the waters.
Yeah. And I went there and stayed in this beautiful apartment for the first week. And started my vlogging again, because I took a hiatus of vlogging, which has damaged my YouTube channel. But I don't care about that now, to be honest. Like, it's, well, sometimes I do. But,
we'll talk about that in a minute.
Yeah, it's annoying, but like whatever. Like it got me in that creative flow again. I took my easel, all paints and stuff. I was gonna paint. Didn't touch them.
Not a single bit of painting.
No, not a single bit.
And you were doing so well with the painting.
Well, yeah, but the thing is, like, my art, I think everything that I do is my art project. So if
Mm.
I'm vlogging and I'm doing these beautiful videos of like me dipping and inviting a community, and that's part of my art. And
Yeah.
the artwork at the beginning was the narrative that drove me to this point. And
Mm.
yeah, so I just went for a little swim one day, met this guy called Daniel on the beach, and I was like, you want to come? And he didn't initially come straight away, but then I put it out. And what I do with my content, if I'm going to start a community, I'll make a piece of content, share it on my business page, and then share that across. I enter as many Facebook groups as possible, and then spam the shit out of them. And
Yes, I have become aware of that, Mr.
yeah,
Cullis, and I have
I'm
had
very
to
I'm very
actually
careful.
remove some of your posts.
Oh, that's all good. Don't worry. I've made some. I always try my hardest when I do it to the hungry artist to like.
Please
include...
be nice to my hungry artist group, because I don't mind you posting once, but 7 times.
Oh no, that is no. When it goes like 7 times, that's why I got a ban recently, because it's not me doing that. It's a glitch, and I've had it a few times, and it's embarrassing because sometimes I don't catch it, and then the admins get pissed off, and then that's another conversation. But I promise you, I did not do that. I did not do that on purpose. Sorry that happened to your group. I mean,
That's all right. I just went in and deleted 6 of them.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. Like, yeah, but some people don't. Some people like must have reported me because it's happened for the last year, and then I had a whole battle with Facebook over emails and phones, and just trying to say, look, what is going on here? There's something up with your system. It's embarrassing. I'm just doing it once, and it's sharing it 10 times. Anyway, right. Let's go back. So
back.
So,
the formula is spam the life out of everyone.
Yes,
nicely.
Nicely, very nicely. Make sure you put you put like headings to each share that's related to that group, so people can and sure enough, like traction goes to the original post. So like my Facebook videos do really well, and then I pose the question in the post, say who wants to come with me? I'm going to be here at 9 o'clock every day. Like, and then sure enough, like people started following. I did another video when I met this guy called Ty on the beach. I gave him a karma card and then I said, do you want to come swimming tomorrow? He came the next day. This other guy called Mike came as well that day, who I met on a beach clean. And then we had like 2, 3 people, then 4 people. Then it just snowballed from there. Like more and more people were coming every day, and like the formula worked. I set up the social medias, so Instagram and Facebook, New York Dippers Club. And then I observed everyone that was there for a while. And this amazing human being called Kate Rizzo, who I now call Captain Rizzo, I saw how much it lit a fire in her. And she's had her like troubles in life, and like I've learned a lot about her. She suffers PTSD. She's an ex-veteran from the Marine, and she's got an amazing documentary about her. Actually, I was in floods of tears, but I was like, yeah, she's the one that's going to be taking this forward, you know. And and she's sure enough, we worked together. I actually became a mentor, like, and that was something she actually said. She said it to me. She said, Graham, yeah, I really appreciate that, and I appreciate your mentorship. And I'm like, whoa, hang on, what? Oh, this is really happening. And then of course, so I was like, I sat with her every morning after the dip, showed her how to do some sort of email marketing, how to do the groups, how to do the Instagram posts. And like it was like a real special moment. I actually never thought I would ever be someone's mentor, you know. But now
girls, wouldn't you say, Marie and Natalie, wouldn't you say he's a bit of a mentor to you?
Yeah, I mean, he's taught me a lot about, you know, I'm not bubbly like Graham. I can talk about, you know, things and stand up in public and do things if it's something I'm passionate about, but I haven't got that energy that he has. But you know, I've learned loads about social media. I've learned loads about, you know, how to really push, you know, this idea that I'd had for some time until I met him, but I never really took off because I didn't know what to do with it. It was like I had this idea, and it was like, oh, I'd love to run art things for kids and you know, help with mental health.
It's all about how to shout, isn't it?
I think, you know, like you said earlier, it's going back to that, isn't it, about everyone in that group having their own different skills. You know, I was great at all things like the compliance stuff, you know, GDPR and writing like assessments.
We wouldn't have 10 grand in the bank if it wasn't for her.
Writing funding bids.
No way.
But that's it.
Yeah.
we find our mentors along the way, and I think that, you know, you are a mentor, Graham. That's definitely a space that you hold.
Yeah. So yeah, New York Dippers Club then was a thing, and we have regularly now. We've got a WhatsApp group, and there's like people are joining that who are interested, and I think they have about an average of like 15 to 20 people every day going along. When I left, I wasn't there for New Year's Day. I was gutted, but 150 people turn up to the beach.
No.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then they got a video of them all singing "Happy Birthday" to me. It was like, but yeah, and then like recently last week, the New York Times got involved and wanted to do a story. So my name is in print as Nomadic Painter Graham 41.
Yeah. Oh,
Nomadic Painter. Oh, I hope you've bought that. I hope you've bought
Well,
that.
yeah, my friend Marianne,
domain.
she bought it. Yeah, it came out today in the print, and someone's bought it for me. But then also today, just before this, I can't say the network yet, but a very sizable TV show in the States read the New York Times, Googled me, found me, and slid into my DMs and said that they want to do a video of the New York Dippers Club.
Fabulous.
So yeah, I'm going to be hopefully talking to her after this.
Yeah, and that's great, isn't it? Because that helps everything else that you're doing. That helps Youth Art Connect. It helps the Mankind project that you were involved in. Every time you get a bit more traction with regard to the awareness of what you're doing, generally it lifts up all the other projects and helps everybody.
100%. Well, like because like now, like also a documentary team started following as well at the same time, because I met her at this film festival that she was showing her film, and then she said, "I've got to follow your story. It's on my doorstep." And I'm like, "What?" She's literally on my doorstep. I can open the door and that's the beach that you dip at. I'm like, "Okay." So she comes along with films, and
so is that's her in New York? She's
in New York, but she came over and filmed me in Pevensey as well.
Oh my goodness, with Mummy Cullis.
Oh, she got Mummy Cullis. She got
a
video.
Good. I'm glad she's got Mummy Cullis.
And then when I go back in the fall, she's going to be documenting me like my return. So she's going to do like a whole year. She went and filmed the New York Times. She's going to be and then submitting it to all of the festivals, and like
I'm going to do some filming with you in Cornwall then.
Well, they've already done it. They filmed me in Cornwall. Like,
okay, perfect.
Oh no, sorry, no, not Cornwall. I did invite them, but they were going toward. It was right at the end of their trip, and they couldn't make it to Youth. I wanted to get to
I remember saying. Yeah.
But I mean, of course, like I'm giving her all the footage.
I was going to say, you've got footage, haven't you? Because you film everything.
Yeah. So that's good, because my normal process is to bin out all my footage after I've done it and made a vlog, because I don't want to hoard. But this has given me an opportunity to archive it. She says, "Give me everything." So I'll also finalize a vlog without subtitles and music, so she's got that to cut into. So she's going to get all that footage as well. So yeah, there will definitely be stuff from Youth Art Connect there if she wants to use it in a story. Of course, it's up to her. But like when I go back to New York, I'm going to have this amazing return, amazing welcome of this the community that has going to be grown, like all the people that I've known even know. And I'm not going to be there to work more on the Dippers, but I'm going to go and do an art project. And I'm going to do a charity art project. I found a patron. That's something yes, I've manifested that. And
You've manifested a patron. Well done.
I was like, well, in the summer, I was like, I saw a video about someone that was defending Johnny Depp in court. It was an artist, and this artist said like, "Oh yeah, Johnny Depp just became my patron one day, and I got a penthouse suite, and then he said just paint." And I was trying to manifest Johnny Depp, but I did get this amazing, incredible human being called Salvatore Lepizzo, who's this incredible guy who is an Italian in New York, and he's got this big house called the You Are Not Alone house. And he said, "Come along, I look after ex-veterans and cons in here, and you can have a room and you can paint in my sunroom." And
wow.
So we're gonna do like a project and raise money for charity. And like the thing is, like everything connects.
They all interlink. you know, I felt that without the work that Graham's been doing, you know, just all the stuff with New York and that has really highlighted what's happening with Youth Art Connect.
Yeah.
Because, you know, he's talking about each of those projects in there, and that you do. It does raise our profile a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. Keep going, Graham. Keep going. Keep moving.
I will. I won't stop.
So we've now got Hastings, Pevensey, Newquay, Barley, and New York.
Oh, Eastbourne.
Eastbourne.
Yeah.
New York.
New York.
Where are we? Where, you know, have we got any other locations on the globe that we're thinking of?
There are things in the pipeline which I don't know. Like I never like to make fixed plans. I like to have loose plans. So obviously my loose plan is to be here until mid-April because that's what we should talk about as well. We're doing we did, didn't we? The exhibition.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, the exhibition.
So the exhibition, which is mid-April, and then my loose plan is to go back to Bali and chill a bit and just crack out a load of artwork and painting.
Because you sold one, didn't you, on New Year's Eve?
Yeah, and I kept my prices up, like you said. You said don't back down.
Don't back down.
Yeah, and I sold it. I sold one for £1,000. Like.
See, look at me.
Yeah, that's it. That was thanks to you. It's in installments, but that's okay. You know,
doesn't matter.
Yeah, exactly. It's like extra to a wage, which I needed at that point as well.
And I quite like it when people pay in installments because that gives you cash flow.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
Which is really nice. Yeah.
So if I get a few more of those, then that can top my wage up. You know.
Yeah.
But my accountant worked out with my karma cards and all of them, anything that I'm painting at the moment, I'm like sitting just below minimum wage. But it's okay because I am looked after and blessed by people that I come along to my journey. Like in New York, I had to move out of that apartment because my friend unfortunately had some health issues, but a family saw what I was doing and adopted me and put me in their they put me in their basement and didn't want a penny. I had to forcibly give them money. And so like now I've moved back to Newquay and I've got myself a 1-bed flat out the back of my friend Monique, who runs Discs. She's given it to me for like an amazing deal, and I'm like, and she then said, how much do you want for the candle? And I sold her the painting. So the thing is, like, yes, I might be sitting below minimum wage, but as long as I can hit my means to be able to create and do what I do, then I'm happy and content. You know, it would be nice one day to be able to grow a bit more, to be able to put more into marketing to spread the message further, but that will come.
But it will come. That's the thing. You just keep showing up, keep taking action, keep being the wonderful human being you are, giving out all that amazing energy and supporting and initiating and supporting all these projects, and it will all come together. It would definitely. And you just have to behave like it's already happened.
Exactly. Yeah.
Live like it's already happened. Yeah. And then that's the true manifestation is, I live like it's all going to be okay.
Yeah. And I hardly ever look at my bank balance. I just pay for things.
Very wise. Very wise. Very wise. Just because I am aware now that we've been talking for like 3/4 of an hour.
What's that,
I said I am aware we've been talking for 3/4 of an hour and I do need a cup of tea too. So I can order one. Just to kind of like round the circle, you mentioned in passing that stopping posting content on your YouTube had quite a detrimental effect. Yes. Talk about that. Just talk to me about that.
So just quickly, if you are going to be doing any social media platform, you need to be super consistent with it. And I would like to have 3 of when it comes to that, because it's so much to do, and I have massive creative hangovers after I do a YouTube video, but yeah, I stopped for a while because I was going through some stuff in Bali in the summer, and I just started podcasting instead, which was so therapeutic. But when I came back, I was getting traction. I was getting like a couple of thousand views per video, which was like 100%, a 200% retention, or what's the word? Viewership or whatever, compared to what my followers are, which is amazing. And then I stopped, and then obviously, like, you're then at the back of the queue that YouTube sees you as a dead channel and doesn't want to push you anymore. So then I went back to New York thinking, yes, New York's gonna be great. This is like, who doesn't want to watch a cold therapy movie in the ocean of New York? Got like 150 views. So like I'm a little bit flat still with YouTube, because it's such an annoying. The reason I get that hangover is because I'm working my ass off like for about a week putting together this vlog, and then it gets nothing. But like at the end of the day, like I whack it on Facebook and then I get more views. But yeah, that's the thing. YouTube.
And you know that the great thing though is that content's all there, and when you do hit those viral videos, then it all just channels back to all the stuff that you've done previously. But as you say, consistency is the key, isn't it, with all these things?
It is, yeah.
And it's exhausting having
is.
to post content and make content all the time, but consistency is the key. And it's better to be authentic, I think, and just post what that's something that's authentically you.
Well, that's it. Like I started saying, like, I'm not going to be pandering to what the algorithm demands as much anymore, because I used to basically think about like what you need to do, like hook points at the beginning of the video, like all the things you need to tick off to get a viral video. But when I looked at the end product, it was shit. I was like, I don't like this. I want to make something beautiful and something that just flows how I want it. And if people watch it and they like it, and there's those like 2 or 3 people that love it, that's great, because it's my art. Like there are times, of course, if I want to get a bit more engagement, I'll pander to that, or I'll make a reel which is super short with like a catchy hook. But like at the end of the day, if I'm doing a YouTube video and I'm putting a whole week's worth of effort into it, I want it to be something that I would like to see. And it will get there,
Yeah, and so that's really interesting, because it's something that we say all the time is being authentic is actually more important. Look at Coco is it a he or a she?
It's a she.
She is being her true authentic self and
loving
loving life. Thank you so much, all 3 of you. It's been absolutely fascinating. I am a very passionate observer of what is happening, and I do my best to support you and help you however I can along the way. And I just hope that the journey just continues productively. And I just, on a final note, will say, no, I will never be going in the cold water, Graham. It doesn't matter how many times.
Well, how about you come to Cornwall?
Intimidate me.
Well, how about you come to Cornwall to our exhibition?
When is your exhibition? In April, you said?
Well, we're shooting for sometime around mid-April. We are asking Eden Project. I know this is live and
live.
Eden Project, please say yes. And I haven't said that publicly yet, actually, but I thought I might as well start doing it. I sent them a bunch of emails. But if
behave like it's already happened.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you so much, Eden Project.
When we do it at Eden Project, it will be you got an exclusive here. It'll be around mid-April, but we're flexible with the Eden Project, and we told them that we will work with them entirely as a collaboration, like down to the last finer detail. And if it has to be a different date, then so be it. But yeah, thank you very much.
Just let me know when it is, and if I possibly can, I will.
You're a connector as well, so you might know some people at Eden Project. You can push their buttons.
Well, I don't know whether I do. I know quite a few people in Cornwall, but I don't know whether I know. But who knows? Who knows? We'll tag Eden Project on this.
Other venues on our wish list: the Hall for Cornwall and the Tate Gallery in St Ives. Just so you know.
Look, Graham, aim high. It's what it's been my mantra. Always aim high.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing. I hope to get down to Cornwall and see you all in the real flesh, IRL, as they say. I'm hoping to see you IRL. Look at me.
We would love to have you.
Yeah.
And,
what is going on here in this pink fluffy thing on the corner?
I was just going to show you the New York Dippers Club logo.
Oh, look at that. I love that colour.
Which I designed, and it made into the New York Times. So my art has actually been in the New York Times as well.
That's amazing, though. I love that. Yes, you know my address if you want to send that to me. I'm happy to wear it at all times. I'll wear it on all future recordings.
Now, do you know what? You can't wear it if you're not jumping in the ocean.
Oh dear. Oh well, that's that then.
Advertising.
Yeah, because I'm definitely not jumping in the ocean. I'm sorry.
Would you do it if Mummy Cullis went with you?
No. I told you what it is. It's not the cold. It's the fact that I can't see the ground.
And you don't know what's coming up
And
against.
I don't know what might be coming near me.
Yeah.
And I have a complete phobia about that. So I don't mind the cold. I'll plunge in the cold. Is that you, Natalie? Yeah.
Yeah, I have to get over that. I still do it, but it is
It's a massive phobia. It's because I have had some horrible encounters with things in water, in my, journey, in my life's journey. I encountered some very, they weren't aggressive, but it wasn't nice, stingrays.
I've been
And
stung by a stingray.
that wasn't good. And I was 6 months pregnant, and they were all over me, and it was very unpleasant, and they came from nowhere, and I found it it's very scary. And also in the Arabian Gulf, a lot of jellyfish that came out of nowhere, and that's it. I'm done.
Yeah.
I don't trust the ocean when I can't see what's going on in there.
Fair enough. Oh, okay, we'll just go to a lake then.
Yeah, a clear swimming pool, and I'm all good. Preferably in Bali. No, anyway.
Yeah, well, Putu Secret River. 150,000. It's less than a tenner, and you get a cooked meal and 3 hours in the jungle with fresh.
Well, my son, shout out to my son and his girlfriend. They are going to be in Bali. They're leaving in March, and they're going March, April, I think. So as soon as we know when they're there, we'll obviously connect them up with your man and the river.
Yes. Awesome.
Yeah, they're going to do a bit of traveling.
Lovely.
I've told them not to come back. Well, come back eventually, but stay for a while. All right, my lovely people, thank you so much. And I will see you all hopefully in Newquay at some point. Yes.
Doing a screenshot?
Yeah, I don't know how to do that. You'll have to do it. You do the screenshot your end. I can't do with
you can't do that. Hang on, let me do it. Where am I? Wrong. Ready? Ready? Lean in.
Lean in.
Oh, that's not it. Ready?
Go again.
Oh my gosh, I don't think I'm doing it. I can't do it.
Hang on a minute. Let's see if I can do it. It should be that.
I'm sure there's a screenshot thing on here, isn't there? I'm shouting into the microphone now.
God only knows. I think we might have to leave the screenshotting thing.
I can do it. I've got it. I remember.
5th time lucky.
Ready? I think that was it.
Send that to me.
I'm not sure. I might not.